there's often a reflection upon very specific technicalities in film, and I'm thinking about, you know, films that refer directly to the idea of panning or to the idea of the camera movement or the traveling or those various different things that you refer to even sometimes in the titles.
Exactly. And your question is?
Well, how do you relate to this idea of like revealing the process to a certain extent? I mean, because in a way, I think that this is an interesting contradiction in cinema, but with your knowledge of the history of cinema, you seem to have isolated at times in your work this idea of all the technicality that builds this illusion, to sort of demonstrate it to a certain extent while not necessarily revealing it. I mean, I think what's interesting is this notion of cinema being a process, and this process being very visible and at the same time completely invisible. There's this constant sort of fine line between that which is illusion and self-conscious illusion, that which is illusion that is not self-conscious, and this idea of all the technicity, not technology, but technicity or formal language to sort of like continue to perpetuate this. I mean, I'm thinking about this film, which I'm afraid I forgot the title of, where you have this close-up on a tree, and then your camera sort of goes away, then this modern building appears, and then you zoom into this naked woman. That's one example.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that was a series of films where you quite rightly, I started to incorporate the camera moves in the title. Like that one's called Spadina, Reverse Dolly, Zoom Nude. There's also Downtown Tilt Pan. No, Downtown Tilt Pan Zoom, and so on. And the reason why I did that was, in a way, I haven't done it for a couple of years, but I thought that with some of the films, when you're working with film, you know, it begins and it ends, and that's always a problem because, you know, unlike other pictorial forms, which are always there, you know, film's a temporal medium, and therefore the image is always in a constant state of disappearance. You know, it's always one frame being replaced by the other, and that's a great problem if you're interested in pictures because it's never there. And if it's never there, it means that you're always anticipating what's coming next. So you're always anticipating what's going to happen. So, you know, people make that assessment. They go to see a film, they go, what's going to happen? What's the end? Initially, literally, how's this going to work out? How's it going to end? And I sort of thought that if I could, because I was very interested in examining the syntax, I think, of what the syntax of camera moves, so pan, zoom, dolly, you know, whatever, tilt. There aren't a lot, but, you know, they're there. I thought that if one described these events beforehand in a way that would relieve the viewer of the necessity to wonder what was going to happen next, I guess. Of course, what it only displaced the question to when will this happen? You know, like, I mean, it doesn't really solve the problem, so I didn't really continue with it for very long. But I think that I was just interested in trying to understand how the basic syntax of a camera's ability to move either internally, like with the zoom lens, or focus, because I have done films now out of focus as well. It's just to see to try and plot the syntax of the camera's move in a relatively structural way, to see how it transforms the image and to see what kind of transformations are possible, and to see if that transformation is unexpected in some way, and that's sort of why I've done it. And I think, you know, when the Lumiere brothers first started working with their teams on film, you know, very quickly the camera becomes mobile. They put the camera on trains, you know, endless films of cameras on trains, endless films of cameras on moving platforms. And going back to what you're saying before, you know, the whole World's Fair expositions, turn of the century, this kind of fascination with movement, you know, mobility, moving sidewalks, you know, moving vehicles, moving around the world. It's all part and parcel of this kind of idea that, you know, that nothing is going to stand still, and the future is about mobility, and, you know, all those futuristic drawings about personalized travel in the air and moving roads, and it's all part of the kind of fantasy of the future that is very much part and parcel of that idea of modernity. And film plays a big part in that. So I am very interested in thinking how that syntactical history, that syntax of camera and of film ties in very much to kind of idea of how the image can be modern, I suppose, and that's why I do it.